ओम विश्वस्मै नमः। ओम विष्णवे नमः। ओम भूतभव्य भवत्प्रभवे नमः। पुण्यश्रवण कीर्तनाय नमः। ओम मुक्तानां परमायै गतये नमः। ओम लोकत्रयाश्रयाय नमः। ओम शोकनाशनाय नमः। ओम सर्वप्रहरणायुधाय नमः। 37th verse of Sri Sahasranama. अशोकस्तारणस्तारः शूरः शौरिर्जनेश्वरः अनुकूलः शतावर्तः पद्मी पद्मनिभेक्षणः. There are 10 names in this verse. Ashokah, Taranah, Tarah, Shurah, Shaurih, Janeshwarah, Anukulah, Shatavartah, Padmi, Padmanibhekshanah. Ashokah Taranah, Ashokah Taranah Tarah, Shurah Shaurih Janeshwarah अनुकूलः शतावर्तः पद्मी पद्मनिभेक्षणः. ओम अशोकाय नमः. ओम तारणाय नमः. ओम ताराय नमः. ओम शूराय नमः. ओम शौरये नमः. ओम जनेश्वराय नमः. ओम अनुकूलाय नमः. ओम शतावर्ताय नमः. ओम पद्मिने नमः. ओम पद्मनिभेक्षणाय नमः. अशोकः, unafflicted with sorrows. To understand this name, we have to first understand how sorrow is caused. Sorrow is a condition experienced when the mind is agitated and extremely disturbed. Such agitations and disturbances of the mind arise from desires, greed, etc. Therefore, the term Shoka indicates one who has none of these negative tendencies, which create more and more mental disturbances. The Lord, as a supreme self, ever contented self, transcends this realm of thought disturbances, which are constituted, which are caused by the mind intellect equipment. So the one who has no sorrows also removes the sorrows of his devotees and enables them to cross the main cause of sorrow, which is the samsara sagara, the cycle of life and death. So he is called Taranaha. Taranaha is the one who enables us to cross the samsara sagara effortlessly. He is like a safe boat. He, he provides us smooth passage through the turbulent seas of samsara. The ego suffering, the ego suffering the constant limitations of the mind intellect equipment. This is the one which is saved, which is removed by the self. When the ego discovers its true identity with the self, that is, a jiva understands that he is not the body alone, he is not the bhautika deha, he is not the sthula sharira. Automatically, this jiva, what we call the ego, automatically moves away from the sorrows which are inevitably associated with the body, mind, intellect, equipment. In Vishnu Bhagavata, it is said, Samsara Chakramaja Kaha Atitare Tvat Anyaha. Tvat Anyaha. Except you, who is going to help me to cross this samsara chakram, these problems, life problems associated with constant birth, repeated birth and death in this earth, in this mortal world. Who except you, O my Lord, who except you will help me? Who except you will help me to cross this turbulent ocean? The Lord is the one who relieves us from the fear of samsara. He's actually what actually he's doing is he helps us to cross the samsara, which also means he helps us to get over this fear of samsara. Taraha, reliever. He who saves us is called Taraha. The Lord is a savior from fear of rebirth. That means fear of death. Fear of death, fear of rebirth, these are associated. He is also the constant protector of the devotees, and therefore he is called the savior, Taraha. The three terms which have been used in this verse so far, Taranaha, Taraha, indicate how Supreme God is helps us, saves us from the afflictions, different types of afflictions. So we have three types of afflictions, problems. One is what is called Adhyatma, second is Adhibhuta, third is Adhidaivika. Adhyatma are the sorrows arising from our own desires internally. They arise from within us. He enables us to cross the associated problems of samsara. Here he is called, described as Taranaha. Now, Adhibhuta are the problems associated with the pains which arise from fellow living beings, maybe animals, maybe wild animals, anything. For example, today we are talking virus. If it is considered to be living being, if it's considered living entity, then there is also a problem with that. So these are the problems associated with that are called the Adhibhuta. He saves us from these problems arising from these elements. So here he is described as Taraha. Adidaivika, sorrows of birth and death. These problems, of course, because of transcosmic problems. So these are, we can say, acts of God. It is not within anybody else. So a person who helps us to cross this is called Ashokaha. So these three related names are there: Adhyatma, Adhibhuta, Adhidayaka. He helps to carry. The Lord who relieves the devotees from the fear of samsara naturally is a valiant and very powerful one. Shuraha. All sources of strength and courage which spring from life in us. That means every strength, every courage, every strong action, moral courage, physical strength, all this arising in every human being, they basically spring from the Lord. They arise from the Lord of the universe. So he is called valiant. He is very powerful, capable of crushing all unrighteous forces, however well entrenched they may be in the world. We know the examples: Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa, any of these Rakshasas, all the Rakshasas, God will find a way. Even if it does not do it directly, He will get it done through somebody. For example, Jarasandha. Krishna did not directly defeat him or kill him, but he got him defeated and killed by Bhima. So Bhima got that strength, Bhima got that courage only because of Lord Krishna who was with him. Now, the moment we talk of Krishna, next name, Shaurihi. Shaurihi means grandson of Surasena. Surasena was the father of Vasudeva. Vasudeva was the biological father of Krishna. So Krishna was born in the family of Shura, is known as Shaurihi. But he is also son of Vasudeva. He's called Vasudeva. Vasudeva. Son of Vasudeva, he's called Vasudeva. grandson of Surasena, is called Shaurihi. Now, all these names, Shaurihi, all these are only very, very symbolic because he's although he's shown as son of so and so, father of so and grandson of so and so, but actually speaking, he is the Lord of all the people. He is the one from which all the human beings, entire race has emerged. Jana Ishwaraha. Jananam, Jantunam, Ishwaraha, Janeshwaraha. One who is the supreme of all men, all Jantunam, all living beings. He is the Janeshwaraha. He is called the Lord of the creatures. And such a person being like a grand favorite forefather, hmm, he- very sympathetic, loving, affectionate grandfather. He is the well-wisher of everyone. Anukulaha. Anukulaha is a person, hearty well-wisher or a friend of everyone. He is considered a friend of everyone because he is providing the essential life in every being. It may be even a bad person, evil person. Even evil person gets the strength from him. He is he is in a way neutral. He is a powering agent. The Lord is a friend fulfilling the evil intentions also of a murderer. He is also the friend of another, helping him to serve the mankind, good or bad. Everybody gets his power from the same source. So how they behave depending upon their own gunas, their behavior, their vasanas, what we call their pravritti. But fact remains that he is a big power beyond all vasanas. Anukulaha, Shatavartaha, incarnating hundreds of times. Shata literally means 100. But here in this verse, it is used in the sense of innumerable, uncountable, a large number. Shatavartaha therefore means one who takes infinite varieties of forms. Actually, all forms, all names in the universe are his. Everything is his manifestation. He takes innumerable incarnations or manifestations in order to one to maintain the law of the cosmos and also preserve the law of evolution. Shatavartaha also means one who has prana moves in the innumerable nadis in the body. He manifests again and again as the embodiment of knowledge. Knowledge is symbolized by lotus. So he is described as holding a lotus in his hand. Agni is one who has a lotus in his hand. Lotus stands for knowledge and wisdom. To offer this knowledge, he blows his conch. His conch is blown symbolically to show that he is offering this knowledge to everyone. Knowledge, good advice, proper advice, he is offering. But for those who are not listening to the silent call, it is called silent call because this message is coming from within, from what we call the antaratma, inner consciousness. Mahatma Gandhi used to call it the higher self, silent call of the higher within. For those who don't listen to this, he uses the gada, mace, in his hand to give merciful, gentle knocks in life. So we should understand when we get a setback in life, it is a sort of a mild message which we are getting from him. But there will be individuals who neither listen to the higher self nor are amenable nor understand the significance of these merciful knocks from the Gada. For them, he reserves the discus, the chakra. With the chakra, he will literally annihilate the person. It is not only the individuals, sometimes a whole generation is degenerated beyond absolute hope. In that case, he annihilates totally forms and then recreates almost like a zero base from zero beginning. He recreates the universe. Now, lotus we know is the national flower of our country, Bharat. It symbolizes our culture, the goal of our spiritual life. The next name is Padmanibhekshanaha, lotus eyed. He is described as the one whose eyes are as beautiful as a lotus. Lotus, as we know, symbolizes knowledge. Supreme deity, when described as Padmanibhekshanaha, means the supreme deity is the embodiment of knowledge. So this is symbolized by the lotus held in his hand. And not only that, his eyes also are like lotus. Further, he can be perceived by devotees in their pure lotus like heart. They can be seen within themselves in their heart, provided it is pure. So he is also called Padma Nivekshanaha. Thus, we come to the end of the verse, that is all the 10 names mentioned in this particular verse. Let us conclude with a Shanti mantra. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः पूर्णम् अधः that supreme is infinite. Idam. This conditioned jiva, this universe is also infinite. Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Avasishyate. The infinite proceeds from this infinite, arises, proceeds from that infinite, taking infinite out of the infinite. What remains is also infinite. Peace, peace, peace.